every time. I'm subscribed already.
I mean, we should all be liking.
KG
Right now, I
better
have
like
to
and
stop saying.
subscribe. Oh, yeah.
So it's a little quiet on the old speakers, but that's okay. We'll be
Right
ready
now,
to
I
go.
have to stop saying.
There he is.
Now I can hear it. Luds, that was actually the second time you said that already. So we've been live for about 15 seconds, but we haven't said anything
10
bad.
minutes at least.
Don't forget to grab your mic over there. We're getting ready. It's a big one today. It's a titanic clash between the Avalanche, the Stars, head-to-head. Mikko Rantanen. Do the Stars get some reinforcements today? Man, do we have a big show for you. Pre-game show, Stars Avalanche, starts right now on DLLS.
Get it ready, boys.
Yeah, it's a big one today. Mikko Rantanen and wait, hey, John, are we completely losing it today?
Yes, we appear to be losing it.
did
Well,
we
we're
for-
losing it every day, so I don't know why today's any different.
Okay,
but yes.
hold on. Putting it down. Some people may think that we forgot something. He's not even listening, so it doesn't matter. But we didn't forget anything. Yesterday was Craig Ludwig's birthday. He turned 64 yesterday. He doesn't look a day over 61.
Tomahawk shit.
And I don't think anybody on the show
I did
And I'm
not
still drinking.
said anything. So we got you something.
John is playing
Relations
every
Miller Lite.
drop.
I wasn't playing every drop. I was
What are we
playing.
doing?
It's a montage.
Yeah, it was a montage, so I couldn't stop it.
All right. So, for Lutz's birthday,
Hey-o.
a key, can't even hear
I
me,
need a
a
Miller
key
Lite.
lime pie.
Key lime pie.
You know that's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's
Well, what am I going to wash it down with?
And then,
Is it KG? Isn't that kind of the?
Hey!
Oh, well, there you go.
we got him another birthday present. Here, and that's right.
I need a Miller I'll Lite.
Hands for you. It's all bottled.
I need a
we
Miller
know the
Lite.
bottles are important to you.
Winner.
He went to shake the bottles as if we needed any more.
This goes in the Rugged Road cooler
I
today.
mean, we've got it right here. So,
It's appropriate for me to have that read today, but no, I'm going to talk about longevity or something like that,
so let's, you wanna dump that
or lack of.
Here, let's bring this over to Lutz.
Sam, after this is all.
There goes the vodka.
Since it is public
Mountain
domain,
Dew blast.
we would like you to lead us in a rendition of "Happy Birthday" to Luds. Can
This
you do
is-
that for us?
Oh, all right.
And my
Can we get on with the show, Bobby, KG? Thank you. What? Happy birthday.
you ready?
What? There he is.
Do you want to sing or you want to do the
What are we
cheer
doing?
chant,
Oh,
the team chant?
well, no.
You guys feel
team
like
chant?
singing or you want to just do a quick bro chant?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh, get in here.
Gosh.
Everybody's in here.
So
My wife does not approve of this. My wife does not approve of this.
Instead of
Oh my
singing
gosh.
the Lutz.
Roll.
All right, ready? Hands in.
That's my kid.
There
Hands
you
in.
go.
Hands in.
All right.
Okay. This is just a really enthusiastic happy birthday on 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday!
And many more.
Tomahawk shit.
I need a bartender.
I
need a bartender.
Have sexual relations with that.
Miller Lite.
And you thought we forgot because
Happy birthday,
nobody
buddy.
texted you. Nobody
We
tweeted at
ghosted
you.
you on purpose.
We kept it quiet because we got to do it on the show. Happy birthday.
That's actually, this was, I had no idea. I appreciate it. Yeah. The one that I had for the 60th, but Kim did, completely blew me away. She did it like a couple days later.
Oh,
And
like not even on
at
your
a
birthday.
little biker bar, kind of little place out, and it was unreal. But this one here is number 2 on the list. The only one I had. It's probably the last one I'm going to have too.
There
Was
are
it a good
lot
one?
of-
Yeah.
It was a
John's
fun one.
been
It's gonna, this
cycling
one's going to be a
through.
great one.
Yeah, it's gonna last.
There are a
you
lot of
almost all
birthday
day.
wishes on the old chat right
By
now.
the way, because it was such a work of art and it kind of got drowned out by us yelling, do you guys want to listen to the drop compilation I put together?
Yeah,
for
Yes,
Luds
I
please
thought you were
do.
just hammering them.
Tomahawk shit.
I did not have sexual relations with that.
Miller Lite.
No way.
That's beautiful. Yeah, we got a little wound up
Okay,
there.
on with the show.
Was that Patrick Starr screaming too in there?
Patrick Starr is in there. And 10 points to the chat if you know what that birthday sound at the beginning
I
is
just
from.
need to shout out to Kim. I had nothing to do with any of this stuff you're hearing right now. I just want to get that.
Yeah, you didn't.
I'm just letting you know I had nothing to do with any of this.
What did you think that you set up your own birthday surprise?
It's a talk for another time.
Oh my God, I can't wait to hear that
Now that
after
Lutz
the pregame
paid.
show.
Also, Kim, if you could start driving it now, Lutz is going to need a ride home.
Yes. Someone
Yeah.
would.
Well,
Because
that'll be debatable.
Someone's going to have to drive his car home as
There's
well.
12
bring
in
another
there,
There's
so
12
he'll be
in
right
there.
on the edge.
And I'm guessing that he's not going to save any for St. Patrick's Day tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. We got to do this all over again.
We got to do
tomorrow.
this all over tomorrow.
Green beer.
We got to get some green beer for tomorrow.
Or some Irish beer.
Brian Ray says don't drink green beer.
All right, let's talk hockey.
All right, let's talk hockey. We'll talk about St. Patty's Day a little bit later. Aside from the belated birthday wishes of our own Craig Ludwig, there is a rather large storyline today out of Denver, which is the return of Mikko Rantanen to the Avalanche, playing against them for the first time since he was traded on January 24th to Carolina. Remember, there was that first trade, then the trade to the Stars at the deadline. And guys, this is obviously a big thing for him. It'll be emotional. He did a very long press availability yesterday, Stars practice. We'll talk more about practice in a minute because we have some player updates. And it looked like it was pretty emotional for him, and this game is going to be. My question to you is, and I was asked this earlier today when I did a hit on SiriusXM, how do you think the Colorado Avalanche fans are going to receive Mikko Rantanen?
Is that another drop going on right there? Did you hear that?
No, I think
it's
there's
something
just
John's playing,
chaos.
just
We got
people in the
chaos going
background.
on.
Oh, okay.
So do you think he'll be well received? Do you think he's going to be booed? How are the Avs fans going to handle Mikko back in the building today?
Go ahead.
I think he's gonna get. I think
Don't
he's gonna
all
get
answer
booed.
at once.
I think he's gonna get booed. He shouldn't, and we'll talk about his press availability and what he said and how the situation went, at least according to him. But just the way it is, I think it may be a friendly one, not a boo like we hate you, but a boo like you're on arrival now. So I think it'll be boos though, and I think he's ready for it.
I think the same. I don't think they're going to have a video for him. Maybe they will.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
That's
he's played
that's a
over
great
600 games. They want to stay.
Won a
they
cup.
should and they shouldn't. They shouldn't boo, and they should have a video for him. But the way that it seems like it's getting portrayed from one side versus the other side, everything else, and how it really went down. And my big thing is this is an important game today. I was hoping you weren't even going to bring this up, but I guess it's news, so you got to bring it up. I just hope this doesn't affect this game, but the thing is, you got to get it out of the way. I think it would have been easier to get it out of the way playing somebody else with the whole meeting, the timing of the thing, to agree to have a meeting or a dinner with the players the night before a game.
Still on that.
This is not what we were brought up in, but it is what it is now.
Okay, so let me ask you a follow-up. As a teammate of a guy going through something like this, how is this going to affect the rest of the lineup today?
I can't I can't speak for the guys that are playing now. I know how it wouldn't have happened. I don't think in our day. It would have been differently. And I don't know. I think that because he's on this side of the fence, it's not going to affect our guys. I think if anything, they rally behind him and say, we're getting this one for him. Then again, he did sign a new contract. It may depend on how much money he's got up on the board. So this should be a big number on that board.
Could be a big number. He's
Should be a
probably
big
spent a
number on the
bunch
board.
last night, Sam, on his Avalanche
Certainly.
dinner that they said they were going to
Certainly.
make him pay. So that's the big storyline. But there's also another one, and it's reinforcements. The Stars, we said on Friday night after they got, I think embarrassed is not too strong of a word against
Accurate.
the Winnipeg Jets. They were outplayed dramatically. And we said, geez, I just don't see Hintz and Bichsel making it to Denver, because if they didn't make the trip today, what's a day? Well, guess who was on the ice for team practice yesterday at the University of Denver? Roope Hintz and Lian Bichsel, and they're going to play today.
Yeah, Roope didn't have any sort of face protection on, just his regular visor. I zoomed in real close to see. It looked like barely anything there. So whatever was going on has clearly been fixed. Bichsel obviously skated and felt good enough to come back from his illness. So they joined the team yesterday. They had a weird setup there where they kind of like got dressed at Ball Arena and then like bust over to
Dress and drive.
Saw Colin Blackwell walking around on like the sidewalk in his gear with flip flops on. So that was always funny. But good to get them back, and that's a big one for them, both of them. I mean, I didn't expect either of them to be in. I definitely didn't expect both of them to be in. So that's huge reinforcements. It makes this team look a lot more dangerous.
Let's take a look at the way we expect them to line up today. The Stars forward group, Luds. It makes them look. They have a deep team even without Roope Hintz, but Hintz in there really changes a lot. And he didn't even play a full game with his countrymate Mikko Rantanen before he took that puck and had to leave. So we really haven't even seen a steady run of Robertson, Hintz, and Rantanen together.
I wouldn't do this lineup. Just me in this game, and looking forward. Although, here's who are they going to try to shut down today?
Colorado.
Mikko Rantanen.
Exactly.
They want Rantanen to not be the one that beats him today, for sure.
By putting him on that line, aren't you shutting down your most productive line right now?
What if they push through it?
Why don't you split them up? Why don't you mix Rantanen and Rantanen around? Now all of a sudden you got Robo and Hintz. Let's just assume that. Because Roope is not going to be 100% today, right? But if he was, I look at this like, yeah, even when they in the playoffs, like if you have two lines and you want to shut down the guy that left your team and you don't want him to end the series or have an influence in the series that you get beat, I would get him, because if they want to match up against him, go ahead, match up and put him down there with Duchesne and Marchment. And then you have the other two guys that have got this thing going on, and you can put them up there. By putting Rantanen up here, which will probably, it could turn out really well. But I just think it's a harder matchup. Now, and again, he's at home. I'm talking about Colorado. You find out what he wants to do. To me, this is like not Spygate. I mean, not spying for the playoffs, but this is, they're going to measure everything up today, because when they meet in the playoffs, more than likely they do meet in the playoffs, this is that kind of a game for me.
So you look back at that forward group for the Stars. The other thing I noticed is that they moved Mason Marchment back with Matt Duchesne. Marchment did get a goal the other night, and hopefully that helps. But you actually said, Luds, after the Winnipeg game, that might be the time to put him back with.
Yeah, you got
actually
him.
For that reason.
That's he needed the job. Weren't we doing this a little bit with another guy that's not here? Like, we were trying to find a spot, right?
Yep.
And so he got his couple goals, and he got him. Then he moved him away from him. But anyway, so maybe that was because he wasn't going to be here anymore. But now you got him. You got that little bit of fire back in him. Maybe that's it. And because they've been like the other two guys are. I mean, you got two guys up here. You got two guys here that have chemistry with each other. Now you just try to compliment guys in there. And so I think that to me makes perfect sense.
Obviously, Tyler Seguin can add another layer to that forward group, but we're getting closer with Hintz healthy again to seeing really dynamic depth all the way through. Ben and Johnston, really good duo. They tried Rantanen. Did you think there was enough there? Is it hard to see the other night? I don't know if there's much you could take positively from the Winnipeg game at all.
I still don't understand that move. I just think Pete's looking for things. This is a good time of the year to kind of look and see if Wyatt, Rantanen, is there any other combinations when you get into the series that you can say, yeah, we had a little bit here. We talk about this all the time. Like, just try to find some guys that have a little bit of chemistry when you don't see a line that's clicking. And we've seen the coaching staff go to that early in games and say, it's not working right now. Let's bring them back. Because a lot of times they want to get back together with whoever they're comfortable with. And sometimes you got to find a way to snap them back into place.
Sam, I know that Roope Hintz might be, as let's say, working his way back in, but everybody talks about him being the number one center, and that's a big deal when the lineup gets a guy like that back, even if you may or may not expect a little bit of bumps in the road.
100%. He's a big player on this team for a lot of reasons, and it's much more obvious when we see him doing what he was doing just before he got hurt, when he was absolutely lighting it up with Robo. But even when he's not producing at a high clip, he is a very responsible player in his own end. He has that speed and size that really adds to whatever line he's on. I think that's a player. You never want to lose any players, but that's one you lose and you notice it, right? You notice when he's gone. Miro, same thing. You notice those players when they're not in the lineup. Even Roope at 80% is going to help this team out. And I actually think differently than Luds. I think that line is going to go off. I really do. I think they're going to, even no matter who you match up against, I think they're going to have a big one today.
No, then they're going to have to get through MacKinnon, right?
That's what it feels like. Yep.
See, for me, what's the Hintz playing today is so significant for me. And I'm glad you said 80%, because this is just my feeling. I've seen times when Roope didn't finish a game or didn't play the next game, and he may have been 80%. And to me, this is a statement. It's a statement that I'm not 100%. I'm coming back because this is probably going to be a playoff team, and we're all in this together. And whether I'm 80% or 95%, I'm with this group. I'm here. And so when I get into the playoffs and I take one off the foot, I'm coming back.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, we got some interesting lineup news. On the other side of our break here, we're going to tell you about the Stars defense, who's starting in goal for Colorado, and a defensive scratch that might have caught your eye for the Avalanche. All that next here on the DLS Dallas Stars pregame show.
Sleeper is the best fantasy platform out there, period. But it's much more than that. As you've seen from some of our picks lately, you can put your ball or puck knowledge to the test by picking whether your favorite or least favorite player will have more or less in their projected stats each week. It's actually been really fun. I started to really enjoy these. I'll give you my picks here in a minute. But with Sleeper, the more picks you combine, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. To keep you in the loop with instant alerts for breaking news and major injuries, so you can stay ahead of the game and outsmart your friends at every turn. If you think you have what it takes, new users can download the Sleeper app and use the code DLSSTARS to get $55 in free entries when you place a $5 contest. Apply it to any contest. It doesn't have to be your first. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. All right, let's look at some picks for tonight. Today, actually, as I've done pretty much every time, I'm going to pick Dallas Stars forward Mikko Rantanen to score a goal against his former team today. I just feel it. It's coming. That's 2.49 times. Then I have another pretty motivated player on the other side, Mr. MVP Nathan MacKinnon. I think he's also going to score a goal against his former line mate's new squad, which is 2.05 times. And then finally, going to go with what many are now calling the other best player in the world, Connor McDavid. I think he's going to rack up more than 1.5 points against the New York Rangers. Put that all together, that is 9.4 times your money. I'm going a little safer today, since I'm pretty sure I went 0 for 3 in my last pick. So there it is.
Thank you, Sam. The other half of the reinforcements today for the Dallas Stars belongs to Lian Bichsel. Bichsel was, of course, ill, did not make the trip, didn't practice the day before on Thursday. They flew on Thursday, didn't play Friday night against the Jets. Luds, it felt like at the time, and I think we still agree that I don't know if it would have tipped the scales, but it wouldn't have hurt at all to have a big physical defenseman like Bichsel in the lineup against Winnipeg.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, and this could be a tough game for a big guy like this that's, missed a game or so. And we've seen him in the last couple games along the walls and getting too wide in the middle of the ice and areas that he needs to be a little bit tighter. So again, I want to keep an eye on how, they match things up. But I would assume that the good news is that they'll probably have Essa and maybe CC play with the Hintz line. And if they want to, if the MacKinnon line matches up against them, that means you have the right, defense pair, and that might keep Lian away from them in order to get him a few period or so to kind of get his feet back underneath him again.
Now, we're going to talk a lot about the Avalanche lineup here in just a second, but before we do, seeing Bichsel out with an illness because Heiskanen's already injured and Lundqvist is done for the season, I think we saw a little bit of the kryptonite or the gap in depth for the Stars. Now, they have Capobianco as an extra guy. Brendan Smith came in the lineup, but there's a huge difference when Miro and Bichsel are in versus the group that they trotted out there against the Jets.
Yeah, but again, that's just a tough team to play against. You can probably get a better barometer on things like that if it wasn't the Winnipeg team, if it's not the Colorado team, it's one of those other kind of teams. But there's no question they miss his physical presence. I mean, when you look at Bichsel, it's almost every game that he's played since entering the lineup, he's got somewhere between 4 and 6 hits.
Yeah, and some big ones.
Yeah, and he makes contact, and I know his name is out there now. Even though he's only played a handful of games, it's around the league, and you got to know. Now, has he dropped his gloves and fought? No, but you know that if you're going to go into the corner with him or you're going to go to the front of the net, it's going to be a battle.
Yeah.
And that right there is you win a little bit of that psychological edge And, it'd be nice for him tonight or this afternoon if he gets a chance to get a lick on a MacKinnon, get at Makar. Makar's down there enough. But, you got 2 or 3 Val. Val would be another one that if you could, they got a good team. There's no question. So it'd be nice for him to, if you're going to get some hits in today, Lian, let's get the right guys. And if you don't know who the right guys are, hit everybody. You'll eventually get to the right guys.
So I'm watching as we started our pregame show and keeping an eye on the reports out of Denver for the warm-up. And who's the guy that leads out the Avalanche? It's not Mackenzie Blackwood like I thought we were going to see. It's Scott Wedgwood. We are going to get a Wedgwood versus Ottinger. We didn't get that last time because Casey DeSmith got the start. The first time, Wedgwood wasn't part of the Avalanche as he was traded during the season from Nashville to Colorado, and he got a win in a game in which the Stars didn't play particularly well. It was 6-3, but they actually scored 2 goals in the third period. I think it was 5-1 at one point. Wasn't pretty. Are you guys at all surprised, Sam, that Wedgwood gets the nod for today against Dallas for the second time in Colorado?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, not. I mean, he played so well against them last time. Not that they needed him a ton in that game, but he's got some history. He knows this team. We've seen lately some teams using that, right? A guy that has a good record or familiarity against a team, we've seen get rolled out a little bit more here, and they've had great goaltending all around in Colorado. Obviously, Blackwood's been the big surprise there. I believe Blackwood played in their win against Calgary Friday. So yes. Wedgwood with a chance here to have another game against his former team. Now all of a sudden, a little more former team drama mixed in here.
Yeah, see, if you guys would have called yesterday and wished me a happy birthday on my birthday, I would have told you that Wedgie was playing.
All for the bit. You knew?
I got a little thing that it was more than likely him. I heard the other guy.
That was a startling
Not
birthday
sure what
drop.
that one
I don't
is.
know. I don't know either.
No, I just heard he was a little dinged up, the other guy.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because Evan Rawal, who's the Denver Post's beat writer, Denver Gazette, let me get those correct, said that according to Jared Bednar, the Blackwood hasn't been feeling very good the last few days. And so that could be part of what goes into the decision to go with Wedgwood today.
That's right. That's exactly what it was. I don't want to steal anybody's thunder here.
He doesn't want to.
You guys want to be right all the time.
No, we're just reading somebody else's reporting. So, all right, Luds, Sam, let's take a look at what this group looks like because January 24th, Mikko Rantanen gets traded to Carolina. They get Marty Necas and Jack Drury along with some other pieces. Then on March 1st, they make a trade for Ryan Lindgren, Jimmy Vesey, and Hank Kemp for the Rangers as they sent Juuso Parssinen, Calvin DeHaan, and a couple of picks back to New York. And then at the deadline, they get Charlie Coyle from the Bruins, Brock Nelson from the Islanders, and Eric Johnson comes back to Denver from Philadelphia. And that has those trades since late January has completely reworked their forward group, especially down the middle.
That's the first thing I see. You just look at that middle. That every time you looked at Colorado, your eyes went left to right on that first line, maybe second line, and you went, wow, look at that group. And then below that was kind of a question mark. And I think that their center position was what they realized was a weakness, and they knew they needed more than a top 6. Just looking down the middle, that's one of the better 4 centers that you can get out there right now. Add to that Val Nichushkin is on just an absolute different level again now that he's back. It's a much more dangerous team 4 lines across than it was in the past.
I agree with that.
What does Nelson and Coyle do for the team?
Well, here's my question to you, Luds. Is that really as deep a center group as any in the NHL, or are we overselling it?
What is Nelson, the 2 latest additions, what do they do for you guys? What do they bring?
Experience, size, veteran presence. I'm not sure that they're necessarily at their ages the best centers in the league, but, I mean, Brock Nelson has been a really steady contributor for the Islanders. Coyle is a really good physical player. I think it adds something to their group for sure, but does it measure up to the Stars' 4 centers?
So Nelson is 6'4".
Yep.
Since joining, he's got 1 assist. He's 51% in the faceoff circle. Coyle is 6'3". He's got 1 assist. He's 40% in the faceoff circle. What they bring is size.
Yeah.
It's the guy on the right wing.
It's Nichushkin. Or are you talking about Necas?
No, it's Nichushkin.
Yeah.
Necas for sure. He's got 6 goals, 11 assists since he's been there. But
ridiculous.
Val has played 29 games this year. They're 21-8, I think it is.
Oof.
They have a 745 winning percentage.
It's pretty good.
The other games that they played without Val, They're playing 500. They're 19-19. That's the guy.
Why do you think? I mean, look, he's a power forward, and he does it in the playoffs. But why isn't Nichushkin so effective when they have guys like MacKinnon and not Rantanen anymore, MacKinnon and Makar?
He's effective because he knows where to go. Like Val doesn't. He's not a perimeter player. He's obviously got the hands, and he can do those kind of things. But again, when you got someone that's 6'4", 230 some pounds, that's willing to drive to the front of the net from the outside. And I've said this before, when he was here in Dallas, I told Stan, I said, my opinion is Val needs to be playing on his off wing, because when he wants to drop the pipe, he puts his left arm down and he just wants to turn the corner. You can't stop him. And if anything, if he doesn't get a quality scoring chance, he'll draw a penalty. And then he goes to the front of the net and you can't move him. So he's that guy that I think there was a really, really good player a long time ago in Pittsburgh that said within 3 or 4 years that this guy would be the best player in the NHL, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Jágr knows what he's talking about. And now this guy is becoming that guy. He is such an important player on this team. And the times that he's missed games, they've missed him. And so I think they're all have their fingers crossed over there that he stays in the lineup every night, because he is your true power forward that with the set of hands on him and his quick release, he can score. He's going to be a guy in the playoffs. He'll be a guy that you have to figure out how to handle.
And you know what he does for me too, Luds, that we talked about. I think we said it about Rantanen in one of his first couple games. He drags people places, right? If he's going to the front of the net, it's not a rarity to see him drag 2 or 3 defenders with him and open up space for everybody else.
Well, and you know what wing he plays, right?
Plays on the right.
You know who plays on the left side for Dallas?
Which wing? Robertson, Ben.
Keep going.
Marchment.
Lian Bichsel.
Oh, you're talking about defense. Okay, I didn't know where you were going with that.
That's
where I'm
there's
going.
the group right there.
Read through it all.
I'm going that this is the perfect guy for me to slow him down a little bit. Know that every time that Val is out there, Bichel's going to say, I'm going to be in your face, and you want to play man on man, if that's what we're going to do, there's your guy.
And it's funny, the Winnipeg game, we talked about how the Stars got pushed around a little bit in their own end, and then I think we pointed out a couple times where they just allowed the offense from Winnipeg to just drive them into Ottinger. That's where I want to see Bichsel. He can have some hits, he can lay some hits in the corner, but I want to see Bichsel and Nichushkin coming together towards the front of the net, and Bichsel using his strength to box him out and push him away, not just allow him to get inside. Because I don't know if we've seen that a ton from him yet.
You start to make contact with Bichsel, or Bichsel makes contact with Val about the face-off dot. And so you impede his progress, ideally along the wall, and get a hit in there. But Val's going to know, and Val's a big dude. He can, they're going to hold it. To me, it's a car crash, happening. I'd love to see it. I just think that this is the guy that, to me, I wish he had 3 years in the league right now. Lian, just feel comfortable and little. But and again, if that's what the matchup is, then he'll get baptized today against Val, and he'll see I hope they do, because now that gives Lian 16 games to get it in your head that this is who we're playing.
That's what I'm going to see for 7 games.
And if I'm Elaine, I'm in there saying, we got a project for you. We got a game plan for you.
That.
We would love to make it uncomfortable for this guy.
Take a look at the defense for the Avalanche today. Obviously, Wedgwood in goal, but Josh Manson is a surprise scratch. So we weren't even sure if Erik Johnson was going to play consecutive games, because he's not, let's face it, he's not in the prime of his career anymore.
He's about the same age as me.
So he's going to move up. How much time will Erik Johnson play today? And, of course, Ryan Lindgren added as part of that March 1st trade with the Rangers. He plays with Sam Malinsky, who comes into the lineup to spell the injured, or we don't know what the deal is with Manson. So, obviously, calemakar is the one that's the big circle of that. But, Luds, how does Lindgren help this team or hurt this team or what?
Well, I think you're going to see elevated minutes there, in my opinion. I don't know if he hurts the team, but I think when you talk about Johnson, he's become a smart player. He's always been a smart player. It's the reason he's been able to survive as long as he is. And what I mean by smart, it's positionally. So I think when he plays against a team like Dallas, he will take away the right areas of the ice, and he'll make it a little bit more difficult to get to where you want to go. And he's a guy you can work on. I mean, he's a guy that also you should finish checks. I mean, again, he's 37 years old.
He's going to finish his checks.
Did I say it again?
No, you said it right.
You said it right. I just knew it was coming.
Every time you say checks now, we think that because of that drop.
He's going to finish his
move on.
chicks. Let's go.
Hey, how funny was it what Eric Johnson said when he came to Colorado? He was talking about it. He was like, whatever I need to do here, I'll play 10 minutes. I'll play 5 minutes. I'll go clean the ice off in between periods. Like Eric Johnson.
He's just happy to be
so
there.
happy to be back with the team,
Oh, yeah.
competing,
Well,
back with his
especially
friends.
a team that's got an opportunity.
And the Flyers aren't
down
going to
the
make the
road.
playoffs.
Yeah,
so.
it's just such a good story
Lastly,
there.
this is there's 2 quick points for me. One, this is the third and final meeting in the regular season between the Stars and Avs, and you know that it bothers me that in a format where the playoffs are divisional, you don't even play your division opponents the same number of games. It should be 4. We should take one of the 3 games the Stars play against one of the Pacific Division teams and just say, yeah, you're not doing that. You're going to only play just home and road, whatever. The Avalanche only have 3 games left against the Central after today. They played twice against St. Louis and once at Chicago. The rest of their schedule is Eastern Conference and a few Pacific teams sprinkled in. So it's kind of weird that they don't play any of the potential playoff teams in the division in the final month and a half of the season. But Luds, this is a big one for you. Nate MacKinnon is on a scoring slump. 0 points in 2 games.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
2, wow.
On the other side of it, though, he is
Career
on
high.
a 20-game home point streak. He's averaging 1.79 points per game at home this year. During his streak, he's averaging 1.8, basically the exact same. In 34 games at Ball Arena, he has 61 points. A third of those are on the power play, and it's amazing. He's gone since December 12th. Scoring this streak. The last time he hasn't scored in a home game was in late November against the Oilers. That's ridiculous.
Ever since he hit that 1,000-point mark, he's just junk.
He's given up.
Let's
Go
hope
play
he
in
stays
Russia
there.
somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say the crazy thing about MacKinnon. Tell me it's not every single time you look him up, he's got some double-digit home point streak. Every time. I feel like every time I talk about, McKinnon's about to break some other home point streak here.
He's
Why
leading
is
the
he so
league in
good there?
scoring.
You can, for the first time in a long time, you can say today, currently, regardless if he's in a 2-game point streak slump or whatever, he's the best player on the planet. He is must watch. And that's no disrespect to 97 over there in Edmonton. There's no disrespect at all. He's just not having his typical kind of. He said
all
his
he
bar
did was
really
win
high.
the 4 Nations.
Yeah, exactly. No, I just think, and again, the beautiful thing about Nate MacKinnon is that every shift you watch him play, he plays 110%, and you wonder how does he do it every single night. And so does the other guy. So does number 8, and so they've got 2 special players on that team in MacKinnon and MacKinnon. And they're worth the price of admission to be able to go and watch them. It's the reason that these guys are always in the hunt to knock somebody off in a playoff round is because of 2, 3, 4 players on their team.
You know what's interesting with MacKinnon? I heard on I don't remember what podcast it was at this point, but I've heard that one big not reason for doing it, but a big benefit of bringing someone like Eric Johnson and some other lighthearted, fun guys is to calm down MacKinnon a little bit because people say he's wired way too far sometimes to go, and they just need 2% less to make him just calm down a little bit. I don't know if he's too far and he's the best player in the world. I don't know if I want to see him calmer mentally because he might be even better.
I think, well, him and the coach have had a few on the bench things that we've seen, but that's the heat of the moment. That's the heat of the game from coming from, like I said, one of the best players in the world wanting to win every single game and be the best player on the night or every single night that he plays. So who wouldn't love to have a guy like that on your team?
We have afternoon hockey, TNT, HBO Max. Let's get on it. We'll be right here for the post-game show. We'll be filled with key lime pie and a few
beer.
Pork chops in every bottle.
And maybe an empty seat.
Maybe Luddy will have to be dragged over here
on the floor.
We'll be here post-game. For Luds, Sam, John, I'm Owen. Thanks for joining us. Go Stars.
Tomahawk City.
I did not have sexual relations with that.
Miller Lite. He's mouthing.
We all silly like the mayor.